Good morning, I'm Jenny and this is video 3 of I Can't Keep Quiet series, and on the back of the last 2 videos that I've done with Mark Steele and Jonathan Spooner, which was all about 5G. Oh, by the way, do you like it's this sign, my reconstruction sign? I'm a therapist, so this is what we do. We can rebuild people, we can we can rebuild people, basically. So what's happened is, literally in the last couple of days, I've been inspired, I don't know how it's happened, to set up small cells for peace around the planet. I'm sure there's many cells for peace all over the planet. This one I'd like to try and put out as a viral cell. So what do I mean by that? I mean that we all visualise the same thing, but we're not connected to one power source, one central source. We're actually connected to each other. And I'm really lousy at video editing, but if I get a chance, I'll see if I can splice in a picture of the kind of thing I really mean when I talk about this kind of network of consciousness going around the planet. I mean, we live in amazing times, really incredible times, where, you know, we have the communication to be able to set this up, whereas in the past we didn't. And in a paradoxical way, we were more removed from our power as human beings when we were divided, I mean literally by lack of communication, than we are now, even though we do feel sometimes incredibly disempowered by this nightmare that's unfolding before our eyes, be it one thing or another. Any one of you who knows what I'm talking about in terms of the way, the dot connection, connecting the dots and really understanding what's happening in this world beyond mainstream media, because that's just a propaganda tool. It's kind of like so overwhelming. You think we're never going to get anywhere with this. It's all a done deal and we've just got to live through it. Well, that's not true, because we could, in this age of mass communication, really take charge. And once the seed is planted, it can spread exponentially, and I mean profoundly exponentially. I may be the initiator of this particular drive for peace, but whoever joins us will be joining people that are sort of 3, 4, 5 tiers down, which it doesn't matter that they don't know it's come from me. What matters is that people own it. What matters is that people understand that we have an opportunity in the middle of all this misery and destruction around the world. We have an opportunity to use our power in a networked way, in a way that perhaps we've never done before. So I really want to inspire people to start focusing on what we want. Now, this isn't, we're just going to live all happily ever after. This is a strategy, okay? It's not just a spiritual endeavour, it's a strategy. And the strategy is to get as many people as possible networked around the planet, chanting, praying, meditating, whichever thing you do, walking in nature, walking the dog, wherever you are, but sending profound, deep connected energy to maybe 2 or 3 people that you know who would join you in this. If you don't know anyone who will join you in this, then you've heard about it from me, so join me. But if you can hook up with 2, maybe 3 people who are thinking the same, that we have to do something, that we have the power, and that we can actually network this peace around the world, then if you believe that, and if you profoundly believe that you want to do something that isn't about going down to the council offices and rah-rah-rahing on the front door, the doing bit is the standing together in solidarity, the standing together in peaceful resistance, just peace. We want to visualise what we want and stop jumping to the fearmongers and the fear orderers around the world that want to keep us under control and therefore in fear. So why a network for peace? I hope we're still running. Yeah, we are. If we look at some of the experiments that have been done in consciousness around the world, I mean, I'm thinking of a woman called Lynn McTaggart. She's an American woman living in the UK, and she has an amazing website called What Doctors Don't Tell You, and it's really all about raising consciousness and taking charge of our health. And she's run a number of experiments called intention experiments, where she has asked people around the world at the same time to focus with the same intention on something very, very tangible. And they have been able to measure tangible results from the intention experiments that they've run. There's also been mass meditation experiments where, when a city, for example, is engaged in mass meditation, the crime figures drop phenomenally for the period of time that they're meditating, compared to other similar times. So this power we have is really tangible, and it's really about grounding. It's not about going woohoo away with the fairies. This is about grounding ourselves in ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to go through a few ways to do it, if you like, so that you can kind of join in with us. And I'm going to give you the times, and whatever you think you can do at that time would be great. So one of the things I really want to stress is that I don't know about you, but I want to live in a beautiful world. I want to live in a world that's fair and kind and not dictated by the money and these crazy people at the top that want war all the time. I want to live in a beautiful world where we know how to share, where community comes together for good reasons, where bigotry and small-mindedness has gone, where people are accepting and embracing of each other. This is how I want to live. I want to live in this world. But do you know something? I can't do that on my own. I might love the idea of it, but unless we all make it happen, it's not going to happen. So I'm reminded of the story of the little boys in Africa, where this, I can't remember his name now, but some missionary was there, and he had a box of apples, or a basket of apples, and he put them by the tree, and he said to the little African lads, first one to the tree gets all the apples. So they all rushed over to the tree. The little boy got the apples, and he sat down with his apples, and all of his friends, he just dished them out to his friends. And the researcher, or the missionary, whoever it was really intrigued at this behaviour, because this little boy didn't just run off with these apples and say, no, they're mine. And the researcher or the missionary said to him, why did you do that? And the little boy answered, I can't be happy when my friends aren't happy. And this is the spirit that we need to have in our lives. I can't be happy when other people aren't happy. That doesn't mean it's conditional. I'm not being codependent here. I'm saying I profoundly want to live a happy life, and I am going to make it happen, and I'm going to help other people become happy. Okay, so it's not a defeatist thing. It's not like, well, there's no point, if other people aren't happy, I can't do it. No, let's raise the flag. Let's raise our mettle. Let's really go for it. Let's become happy. Let's stand for nothing less. But we can do that better when we're networked together. So what I really want is for this to spread out. I don't want to be, I might be the architect of this particular wave of peace, but I don't want to be in charge of it. This isn't my thing. It's just an idea, and it is only as good as the people that practice it. So the idea is that you all that want to join me at 8:30 in the morning, and we have another wave at 9:15 in case people can't make it. And if you want to join again, there's another wave at 7:30 all over the world at 7:30 local time. So bear this in mind, 7:30 local time, people are chanting. They're chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, which is why I chant, but you don't have to do my practice, okay? I'm not out to convert anybody. I just want us to set the same goal, the same intention, and to make a difference. That's where I am with it. So this is how I do it, okay? I've been practicing Buddhism for 40 years, well, no, it's less than that, like 38 years, since I was 19. And so now you know my age. So, and you know, I've been through various phases of my development over the years, and I wouldn't say I could have switched this on years ago, 20 years ago. I probably wouldn't have been able to switch it on in quite the same way. But the thing that you notice is that the more people that can hold that energy for others, the more easy it is for others to switch on in this way. And I think now it's coming more and more easy to switch on in this way. 20 years ago, we didn't have mass communications in the way that we do now, and it was more difficult for me, at least, to reach into this space and say, right, I really know myself, I really know how to do this. So if you can't get there immediately, please don't worry about it. Just going through the motions with other people at the same time will lift you, and we will send you energy. I am sending energy to everyone I know who is chanting or meditating or praying or in a spiritual practice with me at the same time. If I know you're chanting with me, I am linking with you. I'm sort of linking like, I'm just looking at the video now, I'm linking like, like you see those airplane routes on the map, on the when you're looking at the screen on the flight, the seat in front of you, there's these maps of all these links coming out from the centre. And that's what I'm imagining when I'm chanting, is like these links I'm linking with all of these people, and I'm just sending kindness, appreciation, well-being, love, but it's coming from a deep place. So this is where I want to tell you how I do it. You might do it in another way, and I would love to hear from you if you do it in another way. But what I do is I kind of communicate with my heart and my solar plexus. So it's like my head has to stand out of the way. So it's no good thinking about this. So I'm not thinking, I really must chant with my head and with my heart. I'm just allowing my consciousness to sink into my heart and my solar plexus. So it's like when I do it, I just want to be quiet. Okay, I just want to be quiet because I'm sinking into a deeper place within me. And this area here is where our desire comes from. When they talk about heart's desire, this is exactly where it's coming from. This is my desire. This is where my passion comes from. So I want you to link in with your passion. And I want you just to allow yourself to be filled with this passion. Now, my passion is to have this profound connection with everyone else who's chanting around the world or praying around the world at the same time as me. And this connection, I believe, is going to facilitate peace. I don't mean a kind of like, woohoo, peace, but this kind of grounded wisdom. I think that's what I mean, a grounded wisdom. So that we're all responding from our deepest place, not from this flimsy mind that we have that changes itself so quickly, but from this core of passion and commitment in our hearts and bodies. So once you've connected in with your heart and body, now let's say you can do this walking the dog, you can do this walking in nature. I've often done it in the car, not even with chanting. I can just sit in the car and I can link in with this while I'm driving. And there have been times, I don't do it all the time, but when I feel really passionate about something, it's like, oh, it's like this energy just comes up from below here and it goes out through the head, and I feel huge, vast, like my energy is just tremendously strong. So you can do this anywhere, you just have to do it at the same time, or with the same intention, let's say. Maybe not at the same time, but with the same intention. And the intention is that we can lock down peace, we can lock down our humanity, we can resist being played around with like mice, and we can lock down our humanity in a passionate drive for peace. and communication, real communication and well-being. Because what we need to realise is that we are all creators of consciousness. It is because of mass communications and the propaganda media that we've lost sight of how creative we can be. We've become spoon-fed like children, like babies looking up to mummy and daddy to ask permission if it's okay to do this and okay to do that. That's how it's been set up. But we are all powerful, powerful creators, and we can all create whatever we want. Now, if you've never done a spiritual practice before and this appeals to you, find something you like doing. I chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. That's what I chant. But I'm not chanting with my head. I'm chanting with my gut. I'm chanting to feel the vibrations in my chest and into my chakras. And once I felt the vibrations, that's when I start to open up and I start to really be able to visualize what it is I want and what it is due to us. We are creators. We have the capacity to create consciousness however we want it. Infinite consciousness, I think David Hicks says. I hope that gives you some clues. So these are the instructions. Find a place at 8:30 every morning for 10 minutes and find 2 people to do this with you. Send out this incredible visual energy of locking down peace and happiness and well-being. Consult with your heart chakra and your solar plexus and bring the energy up from here. And just imagine these kind of loops, if you like, of consciousness going all around the planet. And it's for us to create what we want and for us to create the kind of world we want to live in and stop passing it over to somebody else to do. Out of this, I'm hoping that there will be a number of people that come forward who want to take action as well, because I'm an activist. I like to be able to take action. I like to be able to make a physical, tangible difference, and we all have the time and capacity to do that. It's just where you place your focus and how passionately you believe that we deserve to live in a beautiful world, because I do. I hope that inspires and helps you. Let me know in the comments below if you managed to join us, and give me a little bit of background if you want to. Obviously, in these days of surveillance, you may not want to, but give me a little bit of background, and if you're really helping and you really want to join in, I'll visualise you, and you visualise the next person down the line. And you set up your own groups, set up your WhatsApp groups. We're chanting now, we're praying now, we're meditating now. Set up your Facebook groups. I'm not precious, this isn't my idea, I don't want to take charge of it, but the idea is we all do it together with the same energy and at the same or similar time of the day. And then, every 8:30 around the world we've got another wave coming on. So if you're in America, you're 6 hours behind us on the East Coast, 8 hours on the West, but you can just continue that wave of praying for peace. Okay, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what you say. Okay, so I can't wait anymore. This is what we're going to do. Cheers.